in international hockey. Normally when we'd see something like that, we'd see 5 against 5. Is that a choir here that's going to serenade us, or is that one of the hockey teams, Don?
Well, I think in all likelihood that is one of the hockey teams, because the closing ceremonies for the tournament will take place here at the Zimini Stadium in Piestany. And the teams that played earlier had sufficient travel time to move from Topolchany, Trenchant, or Nitra to Piestany for the windup. So they're playing 3 skaters against 3. Off the clock, coming in with Davidoff. Good move to knock it away from him by the Canadian player Wesley. Now Canada starts out. Wesley goes cross ice to Hoggood. Also out there is McElwain. Hoggood moved in across the line, but McElwain was ahead of the play.
You take a look at that time, it's a little hard to figure, but it isn't. The time is counted up here, and the penalty minutes are counted down. So I'm glad you're calling the play-by-play down, because I'd have it all mixed up, and I wouldn't know if there's 1:26 left in the period and 6:36 in the penalty, or what goes on.
But when it comes to discovering crystal shops, you are the leader among all visitors to Czechoslovakia. 3 skaters against 3. Canada leading by a score of 3-1. Davidoff with a couple of good moves. Back of the net. Moving out front. Saved by Jimmy Waiters. He was allowed to come from behind the net and tried to jam it in. Now the Canadian team having some problems in this 3 against 3 situation.
Yeah, too much ice surface, and those 3 players on the ice, Osipov and Davidoff, are highly skilled, world-class players, and you don't want to give them some ice time.
Nemeth takes the back of the net. There's going to be a penalty here.
Davidoff, I think. Davidoff's going to get some slashing. A little sarcasm by the Canadian players waving goodbye to them. I want to talk a little bit, if I got a second here, on this Davidoff. He's a world-class player. And you notice when he come around and tried to poke it, he is quick. Don, this guy runs the half minute in 22 seconds.
The half mile.
No, the half minute, 22 seconds. Runs the half minute in 22 seconds. That's quick, isn't it? I mean, when you can do that, that's quick. We just got a shot at that. When you give him that ice time and that ice surface, he's going to do something with it. Hey, they need one more for Bridge in the penalty box on the Russian bench.
Canada leading by a score of 3-1. We're at the 7:25 mark of this second period. All the scoring so far in the first period.
There's Vasilev now taking a look here and expressing some disgust, I guess. We won't see the shorthanded here for some time here. How does that clock work again, Don?
Well, the period time counts up to 20 minutes. The penalty minutes count down from 2 minutes. And, of course, in European rinks, when they do whistle and jeer, they are not pleased with what is... 3 skaters against 3, and then Canada will get the man advantage. Back at the line, Smirnov keeps it in for the Soviets. Knocked down by Canada. Now they break out. 2-on-1, a pass over on the right side. Huffman going in, slides it in front, and it bounces over the stick of McElwain. Smirnov behind his own goal on these big European ice surfaces. A lot of room. Canada out of the penalty box. Fleury tried to step around Smirnov, knocked away from him. Canada now enjoying a man advantage for 1 minute and 50 seconds. Mona Enkhoff loses it at the line, and Chazon starts back for Canada. Lead pass off the stick of Latta. He was unable to control it. Latta has scored the other Canadian goal, an unassisted tally in the first period. Back at the Soviet net, they tie it up for a face-off. The whistle, very quick in this international junior tournament.
Very, very quick whistle, and we talked about it in our previous telecast. You know, I guess they're trying to avoid injury, and there'd be a lot of delay of games if we were watching an NHL game right now. Jimmy Waite there cleaning his crease, very cool, very calm. Hasn't had a lot of work this period, but he was true to the test there by Davidoff just earlier.
Theron Fleury, who has scored 2 goals for the Canadian team. 1:32 remaining in the man advantage. Canada has to begin cashing in on these power plays. They had 2 earlier in the period.
Be an emotional change if they don't, because the Russians will feel that they can take those penalties.
Back at the line. Wesley slides it into Elnick. Elnick trying to get it back to the point to Wesley. He does. Now it's McIlwain trying to bang it off the boards, looking for Latta, but it's intercepted by the Soviets, and they play it down the ice. 1:10 remaining in the penalty. Canada to the attack. On the right side for McIlwain. He had to stop and put on the brakes, and the Canadians regroup in the neutral zone. Hoggett having some problems, loses it to Shesterikov. Quick shot just wide. And there's another whistle and a penalty call now coming up against Canada.
There's a penalty after the play, too, behind the play. There's the equipment manager, Wally, and there he is with that pancakes. I don't know, he's not cooking pancakes now, boy, but he's as hot as a pancake. You can be sure of that. That was quite a scene that the camera people got when they were having that. How come we didn't get any of that? That's what I want to know. As a matter of fact, you don't need any. You don't need any of those pancakes, Don. I don't want you eating any of that. Your wife sees you, she won't recognize you anyway.
Well, we'll see. Wally Tatimer directing the chefs in the kitchen of the Canadian team's hotel at breakfast yesterday morning.